Commissioners meeting, and we invite you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of business is the approval of the February 1st, 2021 regular meeting minutes.
Chair, I've read both minutes for February 1 and March 1st of executive session. I'd like to make a motion to approve both minutes.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of both the March 1st regular meeting and the March 1st executive session, which was held for job performance evaluation. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Morning, Ted.
Good morning.
We have quite a number of claims here. Steve, you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve all claims presented on the agenda. I did go through them, they all match. Just like that. Make sure I didn't miss one. So I do my motion to approve all claims as presented.
Second.
Your second? Okay, so I got a motion and a second to approve all claims as presented. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Steve has already signed all of them, so you and I go through it.
Try to make it go a little better.
New pen here, and I thought it was gonna be like those gel pens. that you
Yeah.
had. Not worth anything.
Yeah, I don't think I got another one here. They've been doing the Zoom meetings on that, my internet won't work today for Zooms. I don't have one, I don't have one.
That's all right, this will make a mark. They're real sharp, it's like cutting into the paper. It's pretty a signature.
I do like these things.
Yeah, I like it too. It's really good down there. There we go. Check it all on the board.
I was hogging it for a team.
Okay, our first, here at 9:05, we're only 2 minutes behind, is Mr. Homer Owens. Mr. Owens, sir? Huh?
What alleyway do you wanna work in?
I don't know anything about it, but you hear what he was gonna present to us. Apparently he's, maybe he's just running away. So then we'll go right to Keith.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I wanted to bring up a couple of things. One, storage shed, start with that. How much you guys have on top? Storage shed?
Well,
What,
we got the one boat together,
oh, okay.
back to the other one.
I did do due diligence going out, getting estimates, where I saw that like Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, they can be a little bit cheaper. The problem is they come in as a kit. Little Fawn, and Oak Structures, they come in fully assembled, cost, like Little Fawn's like $35 to level. The current size of our shed right now is a 10 by 12. And if you guys need to see like lawnmower with a snow blade on it, that's all I can get in there. So if in the future with upsizing or changing the museum around to different offices or wherever it may be, would eliminate where I have my snow blower, the push mower, and some of the other equipment, there's no way in the world I'd be able to get that stuff into that shed. I can't get snow, I tried to get the snow blower in the elevator and then take it downstairs, that wasn't happening either. I just limited on room. Overall, Little Fawn had the cheapest price for a replacement shed. The one that we have now, the water is starting to tear up on the bottom of it. I mean, it does have a concrete floor, but it's taking a beating.
Is 10 foot wide the biggest you can put in that spot?
No, actually, I went a 10 by 16, which narrows the depth by 2 feet, but it widens it. So really it goes from right where the angle piece for the handicap parking spot is, that little concrete section there, and it go over to the second runoff crack, salt crack for the water runoff. So about 4 extra feet on that side there, which would be set right down on top of that concrete, a little bit of pea gravel, which for, like I said, for $35, they come in and they level it off. And with the majority of it being underneath on concrete already, it wouldn't take much for them to level that off on the.
So you're wanting them not to put it in the original spot?
Well, they're gonna have to adjust it, so that way, because when they put that shed there, they put a ramp, a little bitty step-up ramp. So they put 2 side doors on, where you can open it up like it is now. They just position it to where it sits right there, so it's still a lawnmower and everything else can go right in there without changing any other structure than just the location of where the offset the shed, just to make sure it lines up with the door. Does that make sense?
I think so. You don't think you need a bigger shed than that?
You said if I wanna do it, I wanna do it right the first time.
Well, correct, and I started thinking about this, and why I didn't think about it last night, also included is I have all my sidewalk salt as well too. I didn't wanna get too crazy with the size, and I can look at the sizes, a little bit and measure stuff out a little bit better. I wasn't thinking of the whole pallet of, solar salt or sidewalk salt I have sitting in the museum as well too. Something that I'd have to have storage for that too, because they were willing it and hauling it all down to the basement, and then during the winter, bringing it all back up. And with salt, bag rips open, you get salt all over the floor, inside the courthouse and stuff like that.
So I
So,
like that stuff, but the salt, I think we can probably put down in the ambulance garage in the back. Just to find a little corner down there, I think. It's been a while since I've been in there. Just did that bad still.
and I
actually taken care of though.
It's being worked on.
I just didn't wanna get too crazy on the size and get something that I didn't, you know, wasn't gonna be useful and just overdoing it. Something that would just accommodate the essential, well, yeah, I mean, I'll definitely use it, I mean, it's,
I think we need to do like at least a 12 by 20 if we can put one there.
well, let me measure that, 12 by 20, let me measure that again, and, I can come back to you guys in 2 weeks.
I agree with you, Steve.
Yeah, I think it needs to be bigger. What do you think? Because you got a lot of stuff in that shed that's just crammed in there.
I just didn't wanna get too crazy.
12 by 20 will fill up real quick.
And like with the service calls, if we, honestly, like, service calls for just lawnmower, like $600 some odd for the oil change and stuff like that is, if I had a big enough shed where, I mean, it'd be easy for just change the oil and stuff like that, we take care of it for like $20-30.
Right.
And, the other one is, so the floor scrubber. The current floor scrubber that I have is a Cart Vantage 14. When I first hired on, it wasn't working at all. Cost me about $300 to get this thing fixed, and then it broke again on me here recently. And I've tried to order parts from 2 different vendors, one out of Illinois, another one out of Kansas. And I tried to get a hold of J.H. Saylor, who we purchased it from, tried to get parts from. They'll work on it, but they're still having the same issues. The last one through Illinois, they pushed me back 3 times, where it'd be July before I would even get the parts for this thing. And the biggest issue is that they don't manufacture it. They have a newer style,
Right.
but they don't manufacture that one, so they're making the parts as they go. So I went through, I asked different people, R.D. Phillip, one of the vendors, Delphi Products, QC Supply, was another one that I got estimates from, and then I went onto the web. J.H. Saylor on the second page, gave me prices on stuff. J.H. Saylor and R.D. Phillip, they have a pretty good idea of what it takes as a floor scrubber for the courthouse, because they're in here quite a bit. QC Supply, they've sold a lot of their floor scrubbers in the surrounding area, different places and stuff like that. The cheapest price one, of course, you know, it's a smashed up photo of it, is the one on the first page, the 20, from R.D. Phillip, the 2772.58. It has both the clean and dirty solution tanks. It has the 14-inch, just like the Cart Vantage I have now. So it'd be almost equivalent, just a better model than what I have right now. Where as you flip through them, they just get more expensive. Clean Freak, which is on one of the last pages, 2804. That one there, the brand name Viper, is a very highly rated floor scrubber. It's one that, and cleanfreak.com is one of very recognized janitorial supplies and everything else like that. I would almost, I know it's $20-30 more or whatever compared to price with the free shipping. The Viper, I honestly believe would be a better buy than the R.D. Phillip one for the 2772.
That one actually sucked it up too.
Yeah, correct.
You have big enough tanks to do the whole.
Yeah, it's
point?
got a 3.5 on the recovery and the solution, so, yeah. I mean, for what I do here, a 3.5 gallon tank, it'll take you, it's not like it's just dumping it completely out. And I don't wanna go way overboard with some of the ones that like J.H. Saylor sent, because those things, are like, you can almost ride it.
Right.
Yeah.
It won't fit in the elevator.
Yeah, correct.
That's what goes in my next one. You have the money in your budget to buy that?
No, I don't. My concern with, we're still in the middle of the AC and the boiler stuff. If I had to move stuff around and everything else like that, that would become my first priority, but I don't know what the outcome and estimate's gonna be for that. So, honestly, right now at this time, I can't say I do. I don't, because I'm more worried about, you know, summer coming up and making sure the AC and stuff works. Because you can't figure out what that's doing until you shut down the boiler.
Right.
So I'd already bought last year the new compressor for the primary, AC unit, train unit outside. I just haven't paid for the labor or anything else yet, because what I've been found out is that it's been hit by lightning. So I want to find some kind of protector or something for that, so that way it doesn't happen again, or at least it's more protected, because I hate to spend out that kind of money and put a new compressor in, gets hit by lightning or a surge or something happens to it.
They should be covered with insurance, wouldn't it?
It was, one of the last paper, documents I found on it, it was covered by insurance at the end of it all. But the most recent, I don't know if that was the last time the things ever ran. It was 2012, 13, somewhere around there. Yeah, it was a long time ago. But like with the boiler and like with the AC unit, we're running off the backups, we're not running off the primaries,
Right.
so.
How much money do you have in your line item for your cleaning supplies?
Thus, for my janitorial supplies, I have about 6,000.
And you want that one from Clean Free, I'll take it.
I think that would
That's
be,
your highlight recommendation?
that's my recommendation due to the fact that,
The last page.
How about, maintenance or repair on this thing, on like this?
this one here, on the Viper, any, yeah, the, JH Sailor, RD Phillip, plus the parts, get them online, since it's a newer style model, it's easy to get, you can take it to any kind of small engine, and, Blue Frenzy comes with service manuals, parts manuals, diagrams, and everything like that,
Is it battery operated or
Yep.
plug-in battery?
battery operated.
Just plug it in and charge it.
Just like the Park Advantage I have now,
Did you use all your cleaning supplies money last year?
yes. A lot of it had to do with purchase of sanitation stuff and everything else like that, which the county was reimbursed, you know what I mean? But majority of that went to like the extra sanitation and cleaning supplies that, for scrubbing and stuff like that, so it's real, evaluate it that way, it wouldn't be 100% accurate.
Well, I think you might be able to purchase this out of there, because we can figure out a way to use maybe some of that grant money for the cleaning supply for the building. Is that possible, Mike? If he uses his money to get this scrubber?
For what type of cleaning supplies?
Well,
Well, like the
like the
sanitation stuff.
disinfectant and stuff like that to,
That's all been submitted, and I'm waiting on that money to come back from FEMA,
okay,
which could take,
who knows?
who knows? That, and with the changes that came, and normally with a request for public assistance, you get reimbursed 75%. And that, but there's been some changes where during COVID that the possibility that you would get reimbursed 100%. So I think that's what the holdup is
Okay.
to see, so it's a difference of us getting 70 to 75%, which is 18,000 something, or the whole 100%, which was $24,000 back. But, you know, a FEMA reimbursement could take up to,
Couple years. I think you'd be alright, I really do, if you bought it out of your cleaning supplies line, and just,
That's half of what you got allotted for this year, though.
yeah, it is.
I do benefit from the fact that I did have some downtime from my custodian part-time position, which some funds can be fluctuated if needed be at the end of the year or whatever else. And then utilities, since we went through COVID and was on lockdown, I don't see that I'm using all of that, all the funds from that. So, I mean, push comes to shove, like Beth helped me out in the last year, trying to make sure everything matched up. I think I would be okay, just makes me a little nervous with the AC and the boiler.
Alright. One thing
So-
I read with that really council, cause I'm pretty sure that could be expensive no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recommend you use that, I don't know about these two, but.
Well, you get it quicker that way.
Yeah. We would have to advertise and all that.
Is this big enough?
Yeah, it's 15 inch, one I've been using is 14, and
14 now?
yeah, the one I have now is a 14, and this is a 15. Plus with the components and everything else inside it, it's going to scrub better. It's going to suck up, yeah.
124 pounds.
That's not very heavy, really, compared to some of these.
Yeah, 150 RPMs, vacuums, run through. It does about 1,600 square foot, based on what they say here, 1,600 square feet with one run.
On charge.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't use it all the time, you maybe, what, once or twice a week maybe?
Yeah, correct. Usually on Wednesday afternoons is when I usually use it. Especially, I mean, it's critical, like, for like winters, trying to get that salt out, you want to set it there. Like, you can use a varnisher all day long, but without a brush on the bottom, you're gonna get it really down deep, so.
I think it says 15,000 square feet, doesn't it? It's kind of fuzzy here.
Square footage cleaned on one chart is 16,000 square feet.
Does this thing throw you around very hard when you're running it?
No,
It doesn't?
no,
Basically just walk behind it. and push it.
nowhere near like varnisher or a, alter.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowhere near. When you just push the trigger, it walks itself. It's self-guided.
The ones I have are, of course, old, Purdue cast soft that I bought, and man, they'll about throw me against the wall. when I
Yeah, those
throw
little
them.
varnishers. Yeah, I've got one that has a solution tank. That's what I used this morning on the east side of the first floor. Try to clean that, but the problem is that once you use it, I gotta bring up the big vacuum, gotta use that too, to suck all that up. Then I need to take them off,
Sure.
you know, so this one, on tool.
Sucks it all up,
Yeah.
there it goes, that's neat.
I make the motion, we can buy the cleanfreak.com.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to buy this one here,
Yeah.
Clean Freak, $2,804.
Free shipping.
Yeah, $350. Okay. All in favor of that, please say aye.
And in the future, if you think you need something like that again, put it in your budget for the following year.
Will do.
Next year. I know this one broke down unexpectedly, but I'm just trying to keep that in mind for maybe replace them every 5 or 6 years.
When you get that in, I wanna try running it. See what it's like.
Find any wire
Last thing I have for you, Norman, is that with the changeover, so, we've had, from just the time that I've been hired on to now, there's had a lot of changeover in staff and stuff like that. And I just wanted to see if it would be in the best interest, of your guys' approval, of course. This is an estimate to have all the interior and exterior doors rekeyed. It's not changing out the locks, it's just, they come in, they rekey them, so it'd be issue a new key, and that way, it's also starting an accountability board as well, just for who got keys to what. This is based off of each office starting out, of course that can change, with 2 keys, and each department head would have, you know, the main room or main door key. That's how this is evaluated, so, each office, 2 keys. This wouldn't include rekeying any of the, basement offices, like Mike's office or mine, because there's only 2 sets of keys for that already. This is just based off of the initial, 3 floors, 2 keys, per office, and 1 key, unless it's changed, or based on what you guys, agree upon or don't agree upon, 1 key for the main entry for, the department heads. I just think that there's just a lot of keys and a lot of changeover. I just want to see if this is something that, you guys would be even interested in talking about.
On the exterior, there are more than just department heads that have them. I mean, there are certain ones that have already been okayed to have, so we'd have to include those.
and that's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think this estimate's gonna be even close on what
Yeah.
people who actually got access to keys.
Well, and that's,
I can go through that list
okay,
and let you know, but it's not gonna be that much more. The other thing I would like to see in here is that a clause, if you do this, in the minutes that say department heads cannot go duplicate the keys. They must be done at Healy's for the exterior, cause it has happened. And even though it says do not duplicate, they have been duplicated, so they should go to Haley's or go through Keith or something, or myself, I don't care.
Is this in your budget?
yes. This would be just, building structure, fixtures, so yes, I would have this in my budget. I'll try and get clarification from Beth after, to make sure that on the master, or not the master, but the main keys, the entry doors, make sure that the number's correct. But they were telling me it's, with painting bars, like $45 to $50, to have it rekeyed in the key itself. So once it's rekeyed, making another key is not that big of an issue. It's like just a couple bucks, just to have a key made. $5.25 just to have an extra key made, if that's what it needs to be. So based on this number, just add $5.25 to the extra keys that need to be made for that situation. So it'd be close, it'd be a little over 13, but not much. I can get the rest of these numbers and get the information from Beth, and then bring it back to the next meeting.
I will not know about the interior,
Oh, wait, correct,
I will not know that.
yeah.
You have to
Interior,
go around, you have to go around each office and ask them how many keys they actually have, and who actually has one, and if they're approved to have it or not.
correct.
Is there a problem going down being of people that are no longer here or whatever having keys?
I just, accountability, the records that I can find, for accountability for keys, it's kind of outdated. So with changeovers and stuff like that, it's just one of the things that just, security reasons and measures and stuff like that, it'd just be nice to have a fresh start. You know exactly who's got what, who's authorized to get what, and more clarification, it's just easier to, just be more accountable.
So are you talking about the interior now, or the exterior?
This quote here is for interior and exterior.
know, but-
Yeah.
Accountability for the interior?
I'm just overall,
Okay.
yeah, I'm just saying overall,
Because
I
we've
mean, cause
never
if you do,
been in charge of the interior.
and that's fine, I'm just saying,
But it might be a good idea to know who has keys and who does not. I'm just saying, we
Correct.
never, when someone leaves for the interior, they leave their keys with the department head. But the exterior, they're supposed to sign it out in the auditor's office, or come back in and turn their keys in. That is what's not happening. And I agree with him on the exterior, that it just needs to be, because the list that I got from, not him, but beforehand, is not accurate. I mean, people have lost their keys and not said anything. People have gone and, like I said, and got them duplicated and then said, hey, I need permission to have one, and I said, well, where did you get this, you know, so. It's just, it is a security issue.
Do you think inside necessary, inside?
I just think that if you're just talking in keys in general, if you're gonna do inside, you might as well do outside, if you do outside, you might as well do the inside, the way it's all underneath one clause.
Well,
And then one SOP for, standard operating procedures on key control.
And I think there should be some kind of a, like you said, standard control on
So right now, both of you
interiors.
need keys, you do the exterior, you do exterior and interior.
No, he doesn't do the exterior. He does.
I've had to do the exterior ones.
So we need to figure out who just needs to be doing the keys.
Well, Jeff has done it for a long time.
We've done, the auditor's office done it when the last custodian left. And he gave them to us because he was, he didn't understand that he wasn't supposed to just give it to whoever asked for one. So that's another reason we don't know, not everybody has signed out a key. So, that part I agree with, the
Just more
interior.
research, I'd say.
We'll do. I'll just some more research, get more, actual numbers from each department head, and we can just go from there. And bring it back to you. That's all I have, man.
Apparently something we need to do.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Highway engineer, Kent Schumacher. Good morning, Kent.
Good morning.
How's the operation running over there?
It's running pretty good. I'm getting acclimated to it. Good people there, so,
Pardon me?
a lot of good people there, so.
That all right. Where are we on the, what roads are going to be paved this year? We got a list, but with a proposal, I think. Did we
Was
find?
it chip and seal?
Huh?
It was a chip and seal question. Was it? Was it chip and seal? No, it couldn't have been.
We had a few crossings that we applied for, we haven't received, word whether we were authorized for that yet. So it should be either the end of this month or beginning of next month.
It's about time this year, first of April, we get a list on what roads.
Yeah.
The ones to be repaved and the roads that we will chip and seal.
Yeah,
We're putting a lot of pressure on
Foreman
first
and I will be
weeks.
going out looking at chip and seal roads real soon, so.
Okay.
We haven't made a decision on which one yet.
We gotta take into account, I'm sure the oil prices are gonna go up. Receiving bids on that, what's going on.
Your formula might last longer to chip and seal than the last one too, so you guys could be different on how they do it. So I know right now we've got a lot of bleed throughs on a lot of roads where the oils came up.
Didn't some of that caused by just a hotter summer would cause more bleed through the?
That would have an effect on it. It really depends on how much you're putting down.
Well, that's one of the things that we'd like to see, or when you can do it, is a list of what
Yeah.
roads you're proposing to do
Once we
this
get that
summer.
pulled together, we'll present that to the commission.
Okay. And, see, we've got a highway office manager's job description. Have you had an opportunity to look at this? New
Yes.
job description?
Yes,
And tell him I have gotten over it, yeah.
You have, okay. Was there anything that needed to be changed on it, or?
he added a couple more things to
Okay.
it.
And we've added, couple items to it.
Which paragraphs did you add, and what page?
The second page, top 3 paragraphs.
Dust, design dust control process?
Yes, and the 2 before that.
Now, with this being added to the job description, do you still check off on these?
I would accept this one, yes.
So that individual, whoever it would be, would just be issuing the permits and taking the final, pre-paperwork to you?
Correct.
The way I look over this, job description, I think it's pretty darn good. It seems like it's always though, once you get into it, there's something that, gosh, we didn't say that.
He's also doing this, yeah.
Something in the details
Well,
what,
this one right here, forward and fees to the auditor, that means bringing the money over to the auditor that's collected?
that's required by the state.
She's, I think
that one is added, it just wasn't in before, because she's already
So
done
she's
that.
under our umbrella to be covered with carrying cab?
Yes.
Well, we will be presenting this to the council.
Well, I make a motion to approve it as presented forward to the council.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, so I got a motion to approve, the job description for office manager of the highway department and forward it to the council, right?
Yep.
And I got a second, so I call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Pass.
Thank you.
You have anything else for us?
Not at this point,
Any concerns or anything over there?
not at this point, no.
All right.
Does anybody out here have anything that they wanna bring up? You don't have a pothole anywhere you want him to fill, or? Yeah. When will the pothole filling really get underway?
It should be real soon, once we make sure we have all the right, amount of materials left over for it. But with the freeze-thaw cycles, hopefully we're coming to an end of that. We don't wanna start patching and then have a freeze-thaw again. So I would say beginning of April, first couple weeks of April.
Okay. Thank you. We are ready for Auditor Beth Myers.
Ted gave me the 2021, the work order, I think,
Order
let
number?
me get back to mine. The order for you to sign, approving what you approved for your capital improvement plan for this year. He did state though, even though the highway is on here, that's okay. This is what you approved, and, you're just amending your the actual ordinance. Even though it wasn't approved, it stays in your order, and it's just not spent.
So we got $220,000 to.
Okay, so I'd entertain a motion for this order.
I'll move it with, order number 2021-02. Reinstating the Carroll County, capital improvement plan for Carroll County.
I'll second that.
Second. All right, yeah. We'll sign a couple of them. I'll start with here. So you go on with that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Go to the second page.
I'll be right there.
Okay, Beth.
The next thing is the health clinic decision. Our clinic
Yeah.
closes down on the 18th, so you're going to make a decision on Logansport Memorial or Family Health Clinic. You should both have your
Yeah.
information.
What I just did, I just lost my agenda here again. Correct.
I know
Did I get mixed in with something?
EDC, Mr. Adams had that meeting with the healthcare providers just to see what they would be able to present in the future. You want to step up, Jake, and tell them what you told me this morning?
So as I had mentioned, we had great discussions with both, IU, Arnett Health Systems, both Monticello, Lafayette, and Frankfurt, as well as Logansport Memorial. I think there's a lot to be had from those conversations. The most important one is the for them, and that they are looking at their long-term plans of how they can make investments in our community, whether that's primary care, urgent care, immediate care, but there is a need for them in long-term planning, to move into the area. And so just having the employees' healthcare through Bowensville Memorial would be a step in the right direction for them and allow them to provide more services to our community. So that's where our discussions went. Obviously, I told them we love competition in the healthcare markets because the healthcare costs are driving outrageous. And so anytime you can have choice, outside of just a plan, makes it more competitive for us.
So they are interested in expansion of services in Carroll County for Logan School.
That's correct.
Would that include like a doctor?
I think, I don't wanna shell them in, because they didn't really outline directly, but I would go along the lines of primary care, so one, having a doctor, correct, and two, possibly emerging or immediate care services. Not anytime soon, but just that's part of their long-term plan, or could be part of their long-term plan. So,
Always hard for me to imagine that Delphi doesn't have a doctor.
We used to have, what, 2 or 3 at one time?
Oh, yeah. If you go back far enough, Cutler had 3 at one time.
I think if you look at, if you lean toward Bowensville Memorial, that we certainly would love to follow up a discussion with the commissioners as well. One of you or, and a council member to meet with their leadership team to talk about what that vision is as well. So, they're always open to having those discussions, so I found it, welcome.
Did you, I have a question, did you meet with Family Health Services also?
I have not, no. So, yeah, this scenario and my scenario just so happened to cross
Right.
paths, so it's less about.
I just wondered.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and we were trying to do diligence to get with all the providers in the area. I just wanted to provide some input because we were crossing paths while you guys were trying to make decisions, so.
We appreciate that. Thank you. Well, gentlemen, have you made your decisions as to which healthcare provider you'd rather have?
I think they're both really good. Nobody really came to me and said which one they actually wanted. Last time we did this, I had like 30 or 40 phone calls.
Isn't that something? Yeah.
This time I didn't get one. I kinda like the Logan Sport because they do the medication. And it'd be cheaper on us that way. But then again, the other one's providing a service where we just pay CVS at a discounted rate. So
That's just kind of nebulous, so we don't know what this discounted rate is.
exactly. And we'd have to set up an account with CVS to pay them directly, pay the bills monthly. I don't know if the auditor's office wants more bills coming in from separate places or not, or just have one final bill for healthcare.
Any suggestions you two have for us?
I just have my input. I'm just speaking for our service. We have a lot of people that live on the east side, of the county or over at Kokomo. And we really like the idea of having different locations that we can go to versus, one in the center of the county. The health clinic has the Burlington office, which would be much closer to those folks to come over as well. That's just our preference. That's what I would like to see. I like that idea of being able to go multiple places versus locked into.
Where would it have Delphi Clinic and the Burlington Clinic available?
Yeah, and I think that,
Monon and.
Wolfen.
Logan's part would have to do the hospital in Camden. Well, we have to make a decision today.
I would say benefits of both of them, and some shortcomings in both of them also, such as prescriptions and distance, convenience.
I think they both have their, a lot of good pros. I didn't see too many cons against it. I do think the health clinic itself as a full-time doctor compared to,
Not at the county location.
yeah, he visits once a month or something, I think. It's not very
On Wednesday, I believe.
They both have a doctor, but.
Yeah, they look at it.
Right.
Not necessarily. Regular all the time.
One of the things that kind of stuck out to me was Logansport was very happy to, meeting Camden, was very happy to, come out and make a presentation to us. And, Delphi just kind of sent us some stuff, we never did get a representative this time. I guess maybe we've been down this track so many times, they're deciding that maybe they don't, you know,
I think they had a conflict.
they had some kind of conflict or something.
Well, Camden is more centrally located. in town, so that's okay.
How many employees do we get out there? 3 or 4?
But the live in Camden,
No, they just live, they just work for the community and stuff. Work for them. I never got any
oh,
Any
how many do we have
input?
out here, yeah. Anybody else? Well,
I don't take the county insurance because I'm retired military.
I would take the central, or the location in Delphi, and take an easier location in Delphi and Burlington with the health clinic, just the ease, instead of driving up to Camden or driving to Logansport.
It could be more money out of your pocket.
Convenience fee, I guess.